Made in an Abyss has a really interesting story, as a matter of fact, because it sends two children down into an abyss where they have no likelihood of survival and can never actually come back to the surface with them going down to the depths of the abyss. Because I'm assuming you clicked on this video because you've already watched Made in an Abyss. If you haven't, then I'll give you a few seconds to click off. Okay, now that I know that everybody's here, you are probably well aware that when you start to go up in Made in the Abyss, you start to like die and like have like exfoliations of the eyes and bleeding and like loss of circulation and all these other terrible things. And there's kids, the age 12, that are going down into this because they have more courage than an average adult does. There was adults in the town that was like, no, Rico, like you shouldn't go, like don't go down here, like it's not what's best for you. And she's like, you know what? No, I'm going to go do this because I'm going to go protect my mom and go find my mom down at the very depths. And I've heard that this is what it is. Her soul had also just called to her to like go down and be an adventurer. And when Ray came up from the abyss with his robotness, this was when she was like, okay, this is for me. I'm going to go now. This is my calling. This is my time. This is when I want to go there, because apparently she was born in the abyss, but somehow she was able to come out because she was in that like little trapped box or something like that. Still kind of not 100% sure on how that whole thing works, but what I want to mainly talk about is, and I know it took me, a minute and 30 seconds to get to this point, so if you're still here, you're a real champ, and you should subscribe to the channel if you aren't already. I have a feeling that you already are subscribed if you've already made it to a minute and 30 seconds, but just going to toss it out there anyways. So, Reg, as a 12-year-old, she's doing things that adults that you may know in your real life, that I know in my real life, don't have the courage to do. I'm doing my own courageous thing of like creating YouTube videos, trying to understand the essence of God and spirituality and just going into the depths of my own souls, which takes a lot of courage that many people are unable to do. So it's really interesting to see how a 12-year-old is able to go down into the depths to face her fears, because there's this guy on YouTube that I've listened to a little bit ago, and he associated fears. It was like false evidence appearing real. And I like that analogy that he gave. So when Rico says like she's going down into the depths of the abyss to find like her mom and find just like her whole creature or her whole essence basically, is because there's something in her that has called her to go down there. And this can kind of be looked at in this way. And this is talked about in psychocybernetics. This is talked about in other aspects of, say, religion or animals, or even just like your own psyche, but you might not necessarily be aware of it. She has something within her that's calling her to go down into the abyss. That's calling her to go down into the depths of like the abyss. I don't want to say hell, because like I don't think she's really going down into hell. I think she's more going to be going up to heaven, because I think, as I talked about on the last video, and you guys can remind me in the comments down below if this is accurate or not, because half the time when I make these videos, I don't know what I say after them, because it's not like I'm really like, I'm just a medium essentially, and that's what Rico is. And I'll get back to the point here in just 1 second, but this all ties in. So yeah, what I was saying was like Rico, she had this calling to go down into the abyss, to go down into the depths, because something within her egged her on. And maybe you have these feelings of yourself. Maybe you have feelings that it's like, okay, I would need to go do this. I would need to go do this thing, but you haven't gone and done it. It's like, well, why is that happening? And it's like, well, people are going to think this about me, or people are going to not like me, or I'm going to lose all my friends, or I'm going to lose all my family members, or I'm going to lose my apartment, or I'm going to lose like everything that I value. But it's just like, think about it in terms of this. Trees have to be burnt down for new vegetation to grow. It's the same thing with yourself. Your past idea and your past self-image has to die down for new images of yourself to grow. And what I was saying too, I know I'm bouncing all over the place, but I have a feeling that you're probably keeping up. There's a light or a signal that goes off into your heads. And what I was saying is how you can relay this is, think about, say, like an animal or a goose or a bird. We'll use geese right now because it's still kind of like a little bit of springtime right now where I'm at. But like there was geese here a little while ago. We have to think, it's just like, what in that goose is, I think it's goose. Yeah, what in that goose is telling that goose that, okay, I need to go south right now. I'm in Canada right now, and then something just happens. Like it happens like that, and she's like, all right, we're gonna get up and we're gonna go and we're gonna fly down south, and now we're in this warm place or this cooler place. We're somewhere that we were never were before. And these animals, they don't have conscious thought. They don't have conscious being. They can't think like you and I do. They don't have that capability, and yet somehow they know where to go at the exact time where they need to be. This is something that Rico tapped into. This is something that I've been tapping into. This is something that I hope for my videos you're tapping into as well at this point in time. So, she didn't allow her mind to control her actions. She didn't allow that fear to overcome herself. And if you guys have seen Dune, there's a part where like the mom talks about fear. You know what I'm talking about if you have seen Dune. If not, like, don't even worry about it. But she didn't allow her mind to dictate the fear. She decided that she was going to be courageous enough to go down into the abyss, even if it required her sneaking out and having to run away from the family and having to abandon everything that she knew, because that was what her inner self was called to do. So that's what she went off and did. Maybe you have a calling for yourself. Maybe you're trying to figure that out. Maybe you don't even know. Maybe you have no idea and you just stumbled on this video because you're like, I'm wondering what he meant by like these two kids go into an abyss. Like, I was always curious about how these two kids went into an abyss, and now this video is talking about like existential stuff and philosophy and religion and like how I have this light or this essence, this calling within myself that tells me where I need to go, and I don't know what that is. Like, how do I find that out? You find that out through meditation. You find that out by sitting by yourself. You find that out by stepping away from this video, stepping away from your phone for at least 20 to 30 minutes a day. I suggest morning and night, but if you can't do morning and night, just start first thing in the morning or right before you go to bed. Either one works. I always did first thing in the morning. It just made it easier for me. Like, I'd make my little cup of coffee and my little Keurig, and then as that was cooling down, like, I meditate for 20 minutes, so that then by the time my meditation was done, my coffee was like the perfect temperature for me just to like drink it really fast before I ended off going off to work. And through doing years of that, then something just magically happened within myself. It's going to be different for you. Like, I can tell you what happened to me, but like then your mind will want to associate that said thing, and it won't be able to fully identify like, oh, hey, this is what I need to do. I need to also go down into the abyss because Weeb also went down into the abyss. And it's like, no. You have to go do what you need to do. You have to go do what you're called to do. Not what I've been called to do, but what you have been called to do. And like I said, you can find that out by sitting in meditation, and then something will click in your brain and be like, okay, this is the thing that I need to go do. This is the thing that I've been called to do, because maybe you're lost. Maybe you're living in your mom's basement. Maybe you're living in your dad's basement. Maybe you're living on your friend's couch. Maybe you have no girlfriend. Maybe you have no boyfriend. Maybe your life is pathetic and miserable, and you're overshape and you're out of weight and out of weight. Maybe you're out of shape and overweight, and you have no idea or no direction on where to go, and you want to go on an adventure. You want something to do. It's just like, you can start wherever you're at. You could be 30, you could be 45, you could be 15, you could be 18, you could be 23, you could be 19. You could be any age in the number of the alphabet. Yes, the alphabet in the numerology numbers system. Because age is really, it's all a subjective meaning and matter, and I can get into this on a different video as well if you want me to, but that's kind of beyond the scope of this video right now. So basically though, Rico, she has the courage that you currently do not have. It doesn't mean that you can't obtain that courage. That doesn't mean that courage is outside of your reach. I didn't think that I would be doing the things that I'm doing. I didn't think that I would be having a couple hundred people be watching my videos and commenting on my videos and like having me be an impactful word or an impactful person in their everyday life. Sure, my channel isn't as big as some other people out there, but like, I'm good with where I'm at. I'm grateful for the people that do come back to the channel, that do continually watch the videos, and their lives are being changed, because we have this whole, and I can get into this deeper on another video as well too, because I think this kind of, yeah, I think this might also be over the scope of this video as well, but I'll just touch on it really quick. Actually, no, I won't touch on it right now. If you want to see that video, just comment down below. Let me know, and I'll make that video. But yeah, like, you have to have the courage. Regardless of your age, regardless of where you are, regardless of your fears, regardless of what may stand in your way, you have to just go off and do it. Because you never know what's going to happen along the way. You never know what's going to come to you or how it's going to, say, play out, or the events or the information or the conversations or the people or the animes, or the events or the stories that you're told and going to be able to tell. Like, you're going to have no idea how it's going to play out. But you have to have the courage to take that first step. Like, I had the courage to take the first step. I had the courage to take the first step to decide, like, you know what, I'm going to leave a very well-paying income to create my own very well-paying income. Which that's what I'm doing. It's what I have done. And it's a great feeling to say. Like, sure, there's times where it's like, it doesn't feel great, but then there's other times where it's like, this is the best, most impactful thing ever. Like, we can think about Rico, like when Reg was having to save her and was having to go back up into the abyss, like, Rico was like dying. Like, her eyes are starting to bleed, and like her arm got really big and swollen. And Rico's like, I have no idea what to do, so I'm gonna cut off her arm and I'm gonna save her, type of thing. But like that moment, like Rico, she didn't lose heart. She didn't lose hope. She just smiled it off and was like, huh, yeah, okay. Yep, this is what happened. Like, this is my life. Like, this is the choice. Like, when we voluntarily, and I think it's best to voluntarily put ourselves into uncomfortable situations, because that's where we can truly grow and find the happiness. That's why framing is such an important aspect of anything that you do, which another video topic as well. And if you want to see any of these video topics, let me know. I can zone in on one of them and make a video around it that way. But like, she had the courage to go off and do this thing that other people were terrified to do. And this is something that maybe you're struggling with right now. I know I've struggled with it from time to time, where it's like, if I know this stuff, that means that everybody else knows this. And if I know these, why isn't everybody else already doing this? Because like, the information's out there. Like, the books that I read, or the lectures, or the interviews, or the podcasts, or the stages, or the events, or the people that I've listened to, it's like, it's all out there. And yet nobody's a millionaire. Not everybody's a millionaire. It's like, why? Because not everybody wants to put in the work. I've been making these videos for 3 years, and the channel has never even been monetized. But for some other reason, I keep making the videos. And it's kind of like how Rico, she just went down into the abyss. For some other reason, she just had to go down into the abyss. Not everybody in the town that lives there ends up going down there. A lot of adventurers, they come there, they go down there, and they lose heart, or they don't go to the depths that they need to, because they find what they needed to when they were at that specific level in the abyss. But Rico, she has a calling to go all the way down to the very bottom, just as you have a calling to do whatever you need to do. It's not going to be right. It's not going to be wrong. It's what is right to you. Some people aren't going to agree with it. Some people will agree with it. But the right people will start to come into your life and will help you achieve your goal and your ambition and your drive when the time is right. Sometimes you just have to, like I said at the beginning, like, let the fire burn the forest down so that new life can grow. It's a painful experience. It's why a lot of people don't end up actually moving forward or chasing after their dreams, because they don't want to have that painful experience. Whereas Rico, she was like, I don't care. Like, I'll face any pain, I'll face any struggle, I'll face anything that stands in my way, and I'll stay open to it. I'll keep my heart open. I'll keep my vision wide. I'll try to be as safe as I possibly can. I understand the risks that are involved with me going down into the abyss, but it's something I've been called to do. Just like I've been called to do this and make millions of dollars and improve other people's lives and speak on stages and like just do a lot of things that most people would kind of scoff at and not really think much about. But that's why I think it's so important to dream big. That's why Rico, she has dreamt so big of like, I need to go down to the bottom of the abyss. I need to find my mom. I need to find these situations to where I can start to become free and I can start to become more of like myself, because the more I do that, the more I'm going to realize that like I can do hard things, and the smaller you start, once you start to do some hard things, it's a lot easier for you to do even harder things, because you realize that hard thing that you tried to do wasn't as hard as that you thought it originally was. It just seemed hard in the moment, but then when you look back, it was like, oh, that was actually easy, and I've done even harder things beforehand. That's why I think it's a really good, important thing to frame things in certain ways to help you overcome certain challenges or situations that you may be in right now. I still have no idea if this content even is for this niche, but I don't know. I like making it. I enjoy it a lot. And then, like I said earlier, too, some of the people have the comments. And like Rico, like not everybody supported her at first. They didn't want her to go down since she was too young, and most adventurers didn't go down until probably they were in their 18s, and she went down when she was 12. So it's like you just have to start when you start. Let that signal or that light that happens in birds happen in you as well, too. So whenever you're called to go somewhere, go to that place regardless of what other people think, or you may think that they think, because we truly can't get into the heads of anybody else unless we talk with them. And even at that point in time, we have no idea what they would be thinking after the conversation had happened. So it's like, stop worrying about those things and just live your life in the way that you want to. Awesome. If you guys like this video, please subscribe to the channel. I know I already said that. Share with a friend of yours or family member, or on a Discord group or a Facebook group, somewhere that maybe you're a part of, that you think they would find this of value, because clearly you made it to the end of the video, so you're finding it of value. And if not, well, not even if not, and leave a like on the video as well too. And I'll see you guys in the next video, which will be coming out in like a day or two, I would say. And I think it's going to be on either Luffy's mindset or maybe another video on Baki's spirit. I think I already have one of those planned right now. And then I have a couple of other videos. There's a villain arc as well that I can't think of the guy's name right now. I don't have it up right now. But I was going to do another video on that as well too. So just to make sure that you don't miss out on any of those, just subscribe like I said, with notifications on, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching and supporting me. It really does mean a lot.